did this ourselves.
They're coming. It can't be.
Where is everyone?
Hello, Survivor, and welcome back to the Apocalypse Postcast. I'm your host, Makeshift, and today I'm bringing you another edition of Wastelander Stories, the series where we hear funny and amazing real stories from post-apocalypse festivals like Wasteland Weekend and beyond. They can be in-character lore stories or tales of when things go wrong. Either way, they're always a good time and let you know what to expect when you show up to one of these fully immersive festivals. As always, I've got 3 guests joining me from the community to recount their tales. And first up today is the new war chief of the Dukes of the Nuke. Her name is Hotshot.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Hotshot, going great. And you've got an evil twin alter ego that goes by what?
Shot Hot. Yeah, she's a real bitch.
Can we expect a return of Shot Hot in 2021?
I hope not. She's the worst.
I like Shot Hot. You know, she stands up for what she believes in, even if it's
what she believes in is
traitorous thoughts.
Is beating people and yelling a lot. Yeah, Shot Hot's around.
Just so people know, Shot Hot was an alter ego created because the Dukes, we needed some more camping space, and so you helped create this alternate faction of the Dukes.
Yeah, there was a whole. I can't even remember now how it got started, but there was a whole falling out between myself and War Chief Grimm. And
in character,
we were still best of friends. But we created. Oh, it was because I was getting married that year, and I couldn't be as active in Tribe as I normally would be, and we weren't sure if I was going to be a Wasteland. So there was this fallout between us officially and lore, and then I wound up coming anyway. But I couldn't be there because we were at war. So Shot Hot paddled in our new recruits.
I love it. Oh, and by the way, you did mention War Chief Grimm, which brings about the first of tonight's War Chief Grimm drinking game. By the way, every time anyone mentions War Chief Grimm, we're all going to drink. So cheers, guys.
Oh, no.
And I forgot that you guys can't talk yet, so you can't officially drink yet. But my next guest is co-leader of the Farlander tribe. She's known as Adept of the Farland. Hello, Adept.
Hello. How is everybody?
Doing so good. Now, back in 2018, your tribe, the Farlanders, challenged another tribe, the Caffeines, to a series of one-on-one Thunderdome matches. Can you tell me what brought about this Battle of the Bungees and who came out on top?
Obviously I did, because I'm Adept. I'm undefeated in the Thunderdome, and I'm famous. So, obviously, I came out on top. No. All of that is facetious. For the love of God. Please don't let everyone continue to say Adept is famous. Let me see, how did this even start? So I started just, fighting in the Thunderdome my first year, which was 2016, and the best fun I've ever had. I absolutely beat the crap out of my co-founder and husband, Bridger. And then in 2017, I fought a friend. And then 2018 was getting ready to roll around. I was like, who am I going to fight? Jokingly chatting with Beans, and I was like, hey, you want to fight me in the Thunderdome? And she thought, ice! And she said, I thought you would never ask. I went, oh no, mistakes were immediately made. So once that started, it just snowballed out of control, and my beautiful supportive tribe all decided to pick one of their people to, brawl it out with in the dome. Unfortunately, everybody but Beans backed out, so only Beans and I got to fight. But you know what? It was the fight of the century. I still came out on top. I retired on a high, and I cannot find the Thunderdome because she nearly killed me.
I didn't know, because I actually went back and found some archival footage on Facebook where you guys hyped up this whole battle royale of 2 different tribes. I didn't know it only came down to the 2 of you.
You know what? Everybody in the Caffeines, except for Beans, and they all backed out for one reason or another. Somebody failed to go to the safety meeting. Somebody had a little too much fun the night before and wasn't feeling well. So everybody dipped, except for Beans. He held true, and it was a fight to end all fights.
I think I saw that one.
To see.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
It was really brutal.
Very brutal. There were bruises in places there should not have been bruises.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see a rematch of the Farlanders versus the Caffeines coming up soon.
Oh, man. I don't know. I might have aged out of Thunderdome fighting my friend.
All right. Well, last but definitely not least, unless we're talking about the amount of clothing worn, is the Khan of the mighty tribe Skulldugger, Alderman of Undertown, Chamberlain of the Mushroom Cloud Lounge, and the Duke of Denver. Some know him as Dickie Ding Dong, but he's, of course, Mickey Bang Bang. Hello, Mickey.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing so good. Thank you for that list of accolades. The girls only have one thing each, but for some reason, us guys, we'd love to put on a whole lot of titles. Tell me about that.
It's because as a person, I'm full of shit. So I think that Adept and Hotshot are like a little less full of shit than I am. I don't know.
You're the guy driving around the 4x4 on the 36-inch lift with the fake plastic balls underneath
no.
the rear bumper.
God.
Oh, God. If I ever become that guy.
So during the festival, lots of Wastelanders show up to the Skullduggers tent, and they offer gifts or tributes to the Skullduggers. I've seen this every time I go there. Someone is offering something to either you or the Baron, who's the Magister of Undertown. How did that start, and what's the best gift you've received so far?
That I don't know how it started. It was it's kind of like a gravitas pageantry thing where we walk around like we're some hot shit a lot of times, like we're the Jabba the Hutts of the Wasteland, and people just want to pay tribute. I don't know. No, and it's a lot of random stuff too. But I think I don't know. There's been like Baron got a custom Afghan one time. I'll tell you, like my personal favorite is like canned meat. This is a weird thing, but I'm like super into canned meat or like fish stuffs, like sardines and preserved foods of sorts, pickled items.
I was gonna say you and the Baron both, right? He's always walking around with a can of like canned fish.
Yeah, it's just our Wasteland steez. I think my favorite gift was actually a jar of pickled duck's eggs, but they were like jalapeno spicy pickled duck's eggs. I ate them I ate like half that jar in one night, and then I was so sick the next day, like so sick the next day. So, like word to the wise, don't eat a half jar of spicy pickled eggs at Wasteland. It's just like you will regret every bit of that.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, guys, let's get into the stories because I know you have some good ones up on deck for us tonight. So Hotshot's actually here representing my tribe, the Dukes of the Nuke. And during the day, our theme is clearly ex-military gun runners. But we've gained a reputation after the sun sets for getting a little promiscuous. And Hotshot's going to tell you why. But that comes right after this short message from the Skullduggers, improvised right now by Mickey Bang Bang.
Hey kids, you got too much blood in your body? Come on down to the Mushroom Cloud Lounge. We'll help you out and get rid of that shit.
Too much blood in your body.
You got too much blood in your body?
How was that? That's pretty enticing, right? That makes you want to come down to the lounge.
That was perfect.
I want
down
my
to
own
the
personal
Skullduggers,
leeching.
get your bloodletting done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it all. We got knives, we got
With a
leeches,
machete.
we got buckets. It's cool.
I'm going to make you record now. I'm going to make you do a professional version of that. Like too much blood in your body. And all of our different blood removal techniques available at the Skullduggers.
I'm so into that. Super into that.
I love it.
That's a Dr. Bones commercial right there.
Yes.
Cash for your bones.
Cash for your bones.
Chicken. Bones in the cash.
Oh my God. Where'd she go? You can't ditch right when you're about to tell a story,
Oh,
Hotshot.
no. I know she's back.
No.
I'm back.
There she is. All right, Hotshot, you have the floor. Tell us your tale.
The Dukes have a certain reputation among other tribes as, I think somebody called us the BDSM Club of the Wastes. Now, here's the thing. Our tribe is just themed on mercenary gun runners who some were ex-military, some weren't during the fall of the world. When I first came to Wasteland, I did not know anybody at the Dukes. And back then, we still had sort of a everybody within the tribe had a role within the squad theme. We had like the camp cook, we had the medic, we had, I think you were the wartime correspondent.
Yeah, that's right. Communications officer or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I was coming in, I did not know anybody. I was showing up completely without any knowledge of what was happening. And I was like, you know what would be funny is if I am the morale officer.
I remember that.
Yes. So I showed up with a lasso that I actually learned to throw a lasso so I could catch people with it, and a piece of scrap wood that I had found at the Home Depot bin. And I'd asked them how much they wanted for it, and they were like, we don't even know how to ring that up. Just take it. And it was literally like a snapped off piece of like, I don't know, a 4x4, like a cube. Like it was like a
post?
Like a post. that was cracked down the middle. It was obviously a joke, but I carved morale booster into it. So here's the thing. Sometimes the Dukes don't really know when to stop.
Fair.
At least among our own tribe antics, right? Like
I would never believe that. I would never believe
you're
that
laughing,
if you
Bang
told me
Bang.
that. I would never believe that.
Bang Bang, you were laughing, but I definitely had never met you before and did an ice luge with you at one point.
That's right. That's right. Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it burned.
Yeah.
It burned.
That's a great way. That's a great way to just describe without ever having to go into any more detail. It burned.
Yeah, it burned.
I brought this thing to Wasteland. I had never met anybody at the Dukes before, and somehow the idea that this was actually going to turn into something that we utilized at the Wastes. This piece of scrap wood with splinters and broken, and it was just a post, exploded amongst all of our people. And so cut to the end of my very first Wasteland, and we had Dukes lining up to get hit with this thing. I was like, guys, and like I'm in real world outside of the Wastes. I'm a fairly gentle person. I enjoy like knitting and video games and running Tough Mudders, and like I'm not the type of person that just wants to hit somebody with a post. But like somehow out at Wasteland, it becomes like larger than you. And everybody, like, it's not like I was like, line up, I'm going to hit you. It was like, I was sitting there and people were lining up ass out, like, hit me. And I was like, what is happening? What? This is not safe. Anyway, we paddled people in with that first year.
For initiations.
Yeah,
to be an official Duke, you have to be initiated.
But it became bigger than that. Like I thought this was going to be the joke that ended there. I was incorrect.
No.
I was wrong. The next year, Chelsea, do you even remember what Chelsea's name was out there? She only came 1 year.
I don't remember her having a Wasteland name.
I just remember her yelling at Chad when he got he hurt himself. He broke his finger in the Thunderdome. And she was yelling at him like, you gotta cry about it? Like, Chad. Okay. Chad is Mongo. He's one of our MPs. He's 6'11". He's gone to the World Championships for like Taekwondo, I think, martial arts of different. Like he's a tough SOB. Chelsea was just affectionately an asshole. And so Chad was complaining about his finger, which it turned out was broken. And she was like, are you going to cry about it? And he was like, I am.
Are you going to cry or are you going to boss up? First of all, I'm going to do both.
Yeah. Yeah, it did turn out broken, by the way, at the Thunderdome. Chad's finger.
Yep.
Yeah. It was completely
he hurts
separated.
Himself like every other week, though. So
yeah, it was separated out like that.
No.
He got blood poisoning at the last Wasteland. I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
That boy.
Mongo, take care of yourself, sir.
Mongo got blood poisoning at the last Wasteland. Like
your shit together, Mongo.
Here I am, like, man, we're such hard Wastelanders, and Mongo's like, whatever, man, I drink blood poisoning for dinner. Like,
he fell off a trailer and scratched up his leg, and like, yeah, it was bad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He also put a drill through his hand.
Oh my Christ!
Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting way beyond it. So I got to the second wasteland, my second wasteland. I was like, I'm not bringing this broken piece of wood. That's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure we burned it at the first wasteland. Chelsea made me a paddle, and it was a pizza, one of those things you stick in to pull like a pizza out of the oven.
Oh,
pizza
yeah.
paddle.
A paletta.
Yeah, a pizza paddle.
Beautifully painted.
Yeah, it's called a paletta. Yeah.
Mick, you calling it a polenta?
A paletta. I used to work at a pizza shop when I was in high school. That was what we called it.
You guys, we learned something today.
I'm so glad you were here to tell us what a pizza paddle is called. A paleta? Like a plata? Like a plate for
I think
pizza?
it's like Paleta. I think. I don't know. I worked for a Neapolitan guy, and that's what he would call it, is a paleta.
We'll go with that.
The real question, Mickey, is were you actually working for a front for the Sicilian mob?
It could have been. It could have been. That guy was crazy. I mean, but yeah. we can talk about that later. That's 16-year-old bang bang. That's ages ago.
Okay, so Chelsea paints this pizza paddle for us. That's supposed to be our official Duke's paddle. And we were parked next to the trailer of Liquid Sex Tribe. And somebody from that, which I think was a kink tribe, but I only ever knew them that one time.
Liquid Sex Tribe.
I totally forgot about
Liquid
those
Sex
guys.
Drive. He was the DJ that ran the pit for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the tribe was called Liquid Sex Tribe. But yeah, he was DJ Liquid Sex Drive. He's also the guy that would set off the rocket every year for a long time.
Yeah.
The only time I ever met them, right? Like, I'm like 26 at this time. I'm hitting somebody with a pizza paddle. This guy comes over and he's watching it, and he's a legit kinkster who like knows his shit. Whereas I brought a piece of scrap wood and somehow became like Hotshot, the one who hits people. And and like no shade, like I legitimately like if I'm gonna be hitting people, I should be trained, right? But like it's Wasteland, so like he comes over, I break the paddle on Hardass, who got his name because I broke the paddle on him, and he's like, "That's not a paddle. Come with me." And because it's Wasteland, I followed him to his RV. I'm like,
with no question.
Oh yeah, I had no questions asked, man. And he had like 30 paddles hung along the inside of his RV.
What?
Yeah.
Wasteland.
You got to be supplied for the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, take whichever one you want.
What? That's awesome. What a great gift.
It was amazing. And so I took one of the paddles, and he was like, "Have a good day." I was like, "Thank you, Liquid Sex Tribe."
We salute you.
That's so funny.
So this all culminated in year 3 when I hand-built a paddle out of a 2x6.
And we're up to paddle 4.0 at this point, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. There's a flogger. There's been a few. Like at one point there was a vibrator on the end of a stick. It's like it's been a long like that was called the pickle tickle. Like it's been a whole yeah, I was uncomfortable with that when I did not use it.
I built it, but I did not use it because I was uncomfortable with what I had built. You're like, what have I created?
Monster!
I didn't build that one. Somebody brought it to me.
Oh, fuck.
By the way, the door's open, which means one of my children has come in and left. So, like...
We're just talking about brined vegetables, that's all.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can't refuse a gift like that. You can't turn away. Like, if someone's like, hey, I made you this dildo on a stick thing, you'd be like, oh, God, no. Like, no, you have to be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
A little bit of grace. Like, oh, thank you. That's so kind of you.
I think it was from the dildo races, too. It was a retired dildo. So, like, that would be like taking the gift Greyhound that used to run around the tracks.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
You can't do that.
Exactly.
You take the Greyhound.
You have to adopt that old dog.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. So, Wasteland 3, I had hand-carved a paddle out of a 2x6, and it was a big bastard. This thing, meanwhile, by the way, was lost at my bachelor party that War Chief Graham drank through for me.
Cheers, guys.
I left it at the cabin we stayed at, and didn't have the balls to call them and say, "Hey, I left my paddle at the cabin."
Oh. And here, I just thought you liked hitting people all this time. I just really thought you genuinely enjoyed hitting people this whole time. Come to find out, this was foisted upon
I mean,
you.
she enjoys it every time.
It was really foisted upon me. That's the thing. Like, I don't like hate it. It's not like I'm incredibly uncomfortable the whole time. Like, it's funny. It's a bit. Hotshot is very different than Megan the human, but like it was an accident. It was all an accident.
I
think you stuck a whip in my hand at one point, Mickey.
Oh yeah, no, I think
Is
I've
that
done
true,
that
Mickey?
several. Yeah, I've done that several times. Actually, there's been. It's kind of an inside joke that like whenever something goes wrong lore wise or something, we always just end up having Grim flogged by Hotshot. It's happened like 3 different times, and then everyone's just like
War Chief Grim.
War Chief Grim,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, "How did this happen?" I'm like, "I don't. These guys want it to happen. I'm sure."
I am convinced that War Chief Grim, by the way, drink, does actually enjoy being swatted because we talked about that on the show.
A little bit. I feel like maybe there's a little truth to that.
If he's not the first man tied to the armory, he won't be the last.
Exactly.
For anybody who doesn't know this, we have an armory where we trade things to brand new Wastelanders so that they can get cool stuff. Somehow somebody always winds up tied to it every year. I don't. Again, weirdest and most accidental BDSM club in the wastes.
Yeah. And from the floggings, from the initiation floggings, and the punishment floggings, and all sorts of floggings, we that's kind of where Dukes After Dark came from, isn't it?
Yes.
Like because they always took place at night after, when the music gets loud, and we would light up the camp, and that's when all these BDSM things would start happening. And then
that ties into like the end of my story, which is like the third Wasteland. I built this like crazy paddle. I got lost at my bachelorette party, whatever. I brought it out, and it was big, guys. Like, I slapped my own thigh with it just to test it to make sure I wouldn't hurt anybody, and it hurt. It was heavy, it was big, it was scary, and we had like a shit ton of FMGs that year. Like,
that's
8.
fucking new guys for the unknowing.
Yeah, for the unknown, FNGs is fucking new guys. You have to go through a year of probation before you can join the Dukes, because we got to make sure that you're not an asshole.
Exactly.
If we're going to spend time with you. Yeah. It makes your life much easier for anybody starting up a new tribe. Like, you want to make sure you guys mesh.
Yep.
But that year there was this girl named Belle at Wasteland with us. And Belle was a baby. She had never left Wisconsin. She was 19 years old. She had been homeschooled her entire life. She was there with Johan, one of our photographers at the time.
I remember Johan.
Yeah. So I guess his friend, who he'd used to like, he knew back in the day, had asked him to take Belle with us, right? Like, she'd been homeschooled. Her first experience outside of Wisconsin and homeschooling was Wasteland. Yeah, I see your face at it, because it's just your mouth is an O and your face is shocked. That is correct.
No! Oh, bless it. Sweet child.
So Belle was getting initiated with the rest of the Dukes, but she had this tiny skirt on, and she got up to her paddling, and she was so uncomfortable with the idea of bending over, because at this point there was a crowd of like 50 people behind us. I'm not even shitting you. And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want this girl to be this uncomfortable. So I was like, are you okay with this? And she was like, I don't want to bend over. And I said, that's okay, one sec. And I grabbed a random dude from the crowd, and I said, get your ass on the bench. And he laid down on the bench so she could be propped up so she wouldn't be like scurred up. And it was
so
like,
she didn't have to dip over so far.
Yeah. So like, this dude offered his body so that she could prop herself up higher so she wouldn't like flash her skirt.
Was this some rando?
Forward, man, I have no idea who the dude was.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't know who it was?
No.
Okay.
I met him. I grabbed a dude out of the crowd.
He probably remembered that for the rest of his life.
That just made his whole Wasteland.
Yeah.
Well, from that day forward, it's been like the BDSM club. Like, like there were so many asses that I did not know presented to me that night that I was like, "Are you a Duke? Okay, slap." Like, and that did it, man. Like, from that point forward, people come up to us and they're like, "When are the floggings?" I was like, "What are you talking?" Like, forever, every Wasteland since.
The floggings have definitely become a huge draw Everyone wants to see someone else get hurt. That's what it's all about. With consent. With consent.
With consent. We're really big on that, guys.
Consent.
Real big on that.
Consent.
That's very important. And I want to say that to any listeners, we have had FNGs come to me and say they're not, well, not even come to me. I pull them all aside individually and say, hey, are you cool with this? If not, it's okay. And I have had them say, hey, I'm not cool. And we let them out. I want everybody to know that.
Meanwhile, most of the Dukes so far have been like, hit me twice.
Yeah, it gets real weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets real weird.
It's real weird. That's another tagline for the Dukes. It gets real weird.
It gets real weird.
So I am so pleased that we have that officially on record. Mickey, thank you for putting that ridiculous flogger into my hand that time so that I left actual marks on Grim. Drink.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, War Chief Grim. Mm-hmm.
It was a nice ass
Adept,
flogger,
I feel
too.
like you and I have hung out a ton. It was beautiful. It was a copper pipe.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay. Can you send me some pictures of that, maybe? Just saying.
Yeah, when I used to fly to Nashville all the time for work, and I feel like we've hung out so many times, but I don't feel like you've ever heard that story. So cheers, my dear.
Oh.
And all the times that we have hung out, I have not heard that story. I feel like that would have been a good Halloween story, but
It feels like it would be a weird over pizza story.
over pizza story.
What's the tribe that does the bring your own slave party?
What?
Oh,
yeah, there's a bring your own slave party.
We had one of our tribe members go to that last year. I don't know what tribe it is though.
Is that right?
Yeah, one of our newer members, this kid Quentin, he was all about it. Like I didn't even know about it. He's like, hey, did you know about the bring your own slave party? And I was like, no, but you should go if you're. And I was like, are you taking a slave? And he's like, no, I want to be a slave. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you should probably find someone to do that with.
They're probably like if you show up.
I'm sure he showed up like a lost puppy, and they were like, "Oh, sweetheart, come in." Like,
come in. We'll find somebody for you, buddy.
Yeah. It's one of the events I haven't been able to witness because I always have a camera in hand, and cameras are strictly forbidden. And they've got the walls, like you can't even see in there when stuff's happening.
What tribe is that?
Oh man, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. I'll have to look this up.
I feel like that would be something that would happen at Uncle Zeke's. I'm just saying.
It's not Uncle Zeke's.
No, I don't think it's in the den. I think it's somewhere.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, I feel like the den would be too public for that.
True.
Yeah, and the den, if they did something like that, would never make it non-public. it would because to go to the bring your own slave party, you must go in pairs, right?
That's true. They'd be like, how can we host this on the P-Rock?
Right.
Exactly. Oh man. So anyway, we've got some competition. Hotshot is all I'm really saying.
Good. Please.
I don't want this.
Go elsewhere, random dudes.
The stick chose me. I did not choose the stick.
The Dukes don't need any more butts. The Dukes are full up on butts.
We have so many butts.
We have a lot of butts. Hey guys, I had to refresh my memory after we were done. It is, of course, the Badlands Savages that have the Bring Your Own Slave Party. And actually, thanks to Hotshot's initiation paddling, Dukes After Dark became a real thing and has already spawned one pinup calendar of the Dukes. And now we are currently working on our second pinup calendar as a fundraiser to help us, build the camp and buy more cool stuff. So if you guys are interested,
one. I need the second one.
The second one is going to be amazing. It's also going to have, we have a smut book that we're going to be selling.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I got my calendar signed in 2019.
Awesome. Oh.
I couldn't be in it this year because now that I'm a foster parent, it seemed like it was probably a poor choice. But
that explains it. Somehow. That explains it. Sorry. It's all right. I took your spot on this one, so we got you covered.
Girl.
Ooh, I wish I was into dudes.
It was a lot of fun, actually. My roommate helped me take some pictures. But anyway, let's get back to it. So
that's the most uncomfortable I've ever seen Makeshift.
I actually did have a blast, but I was like nervous the whole time. Okay, so let's push forward. And let me tell you that when you're at Wasteland, some tribes keep an item in their camp that's actually meant to be stolen. It's called a relic, and it's clearly marked with a very specific symbol And usually you hear about it through another tribe's mission or maybe through an online forum before the event. But in 2019, a particular item became part of the biggest heist in Wasteland history. An Adept of the Farland is going to tell you about it. But that comes right after this commercial for the Dukes of the Nuke, improvised right now by Hotshot.
Oh, shit.
That's the commercial.
Hey, kid. Do you need some caps? Do you want to pretend like you're actually worth something in the wastes? Look, people know who we are, and maybe if you do something for us, they'll know who you are. Probably not, but maybe. So come over here and see if you can earn our favor. Gun run for us. Assassinate for us. We're the Dukes of the Nuke, and we are the shit.
10 out of 10. Do you recommend?
Yes.
I feel like Shot Hot came out a little bit there.
Yeah, she did. She did.
I was going to say, Mickey, I don't recognize your voice. Not full of dust.
That's actually a really good point.
I get this all the time. I
just need to hear you say dope one time.
Dope. It's fucking dope.
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 I'll do our Baron impression.
All right, cool. Well, let's hand it over to Adept and hear your lovely story.
Yeah.
All right. 2019. Last one before the pandemic, before everybody's souls got crushed by having to miss Wasteland for a year, which is still not over the emotional trauma. Is anybody?
Me too, man. Me too.
Nope.
Yeah. And I don't even get to go back till next year, so 2 years running. Sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So 2019.
You just broke my heart.
You'll be fine. You'll survive.
Okay.
You'll survive. What was the name of the tribe? I don't know why I suddenly can't remember. Was
it the Crows? Dead Crows. It was definitely the Dead Crows.
Yeah, with the
it was Dead Crows. Decided, they were gonna. He knows where this is going. They decided they were gonna bring themselves a fun little toy to cause chaos and bedlam with. Which is it Wasteland unless there's chaos and bedlam at least in 5 different places at one time? The answer is no. So they brought a gutted helicopter that they affectionately refer to as the hecklecopter because I guess the Dead Crows do a bunch of heckling. I honestly, if I'm completely honest with you, don't know a ton about the Dead Crows. I know a tiny little bit, but not a ton.
They set up next to a road, and as you walked by, they would heckle the crap out of you.
So,
I thought that.
Funny
they
story.
Have a megaphone?
Funny story. One of my ex-girlfriends, at her wedding, I met this girl who was her new wife's ex-girlfriend, and it was one of the Crows, and we became friends because we were both Wastelanders.
That tracks.
Sorry, lesbians continue.
To have a bunch of people that small lesbian world. The Dead Crows has a bunch of people in it that I'm like, I know you outside of Wasteland, and this juxtaposition is making me deeply uncomfortable, but also hilarious. Because in what other world am I going to hang out with somebody in 1850s and then see them again in Wasteland? I'm just like, hey, don't look at me. We don't know each other. You only know me like this.
I'm going to explore this for a second. Tell people what else you do that you would be hanging out in the 1850s.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. My fun other world, I used to. I don't really as much anymore, but I used to do historical reenacting. And there's some people that I would see when I, used to do Dickens Fair in California. I think the last one I did was in 2019, but there were a couple people there that are also Wastelanders. And I was like, you don't know me. Actually, it would be really something if they could have recognized me like that from Wasteland or vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a very big difference. Like, surprisingly so. Like, Superman, take off the glasses. It's more than glasses.
Heck
but
yeah.
I used to go to the local comic book shop, like a block from my house. It took me over a year to realize that the woman who was working behind the counter, they keep shutting the fucking door, my children. It took me over a year to realize that the woman working behind the counter at the comic book shop that I go to all the time was also a Wastelander who I hang out with at Wasteland.
It's weird how that works. It's very strange, but that's Wasteland for you. So I don't know a ton about the Dead Crows. I do, now that you mention it, remember the heckling because of Mike's megaphones and causing a ruckus, and the car that had the loudspeaker on it, that thing. Anyway, I don't know much about them, but they brought a fucking helicopter, and I was like, hey. And I thought at first, it's just a thing. Like, it's just a prop, like it's part of their camp. But then I saw it moved, and I went, I have got a hell of an idea right now, because what the fuck am I going to go to Wasteland for if it's not going to create shenanigans? I don't really like the use of that word, so I'm just going to call it bullshit. Because, you go to Wasteland to get back on your bullshit. So the idea, like, started as this little worm in my head, and I look at Bridger, and I'm like, hey, how much do you think that helicopter weighs? And he's like, no. And then I went, you sure? And then the worm got into his brain too. And then I was also talking to Crybaby and Ulfbane, who are my other two tribe mates. And I was like, hey guys, that helicopter, I think people just steal it. And it was like, ha, yeah, okay. But it wouldn't get out of my head. I went, I need this helicopter. I don't know why. I have literally no use for this thing. So we were camped in the Green Place, which was a new ward, and I love the Green Place. They're awesome. Everybody there is great. The Bolt Cutters, Rag Weavers, full of a bunch of cool tribes that we love. We were camped next to Rag Weavers, and I was like, hey, you want a helicopter? And the whole ward got in on it at that point. And they just thought, why the hell not? And so then the Farlanders do what the Farlanders always do, and that is, I'm going to either bribe or finagle my way into getting enough help to get this, because I'm fixing to have a helicopter for the Green Place. Why not?
I remember it going down the street.
It went down many places.
Yeah, well, I think everybody stole it at some point.
Camp. Everybody did steal it at some point.
No, I remember when you guys took it down the street.
Oh, yeah, no, when we took it down the street, it was a fucking thing. We'll get there. Because we're not going to do anything unless we're going to do it in style. So we finagled a bunch of people to go and get it for us because we're too noticeable. Everybody would see the Farlanders milling about, because we spent a lot of time milling about. There was one night, we didn't do it first thing during the event, and for those who don't know, the event is 5 days long in the middle of the desert. It's baller as hell. So we were walking around one of the night, and it was out front. I want to say it was out front Road Rash, or somewhere near the city. And so we were having to do a little reconnaissance subtly and quietly. So one of the first things we did is we went, all right, how heavy is this thing? Because we know it's been gutted, obviously, and it's missing quite a bit of its pieces. So it's very pared down, but you can still tell it was a helicopter at one point. So we're kind of like just very quietly, subtly lifting it up just to see how many people do we think could carry this thing. And we got a rough idea of how it was. So we just started going around to people we don't even know. I just went, you look like you would have fun with this person I don't know. So for those listening, if you did help the Green Place and the Farlanders get the helicopter over to our camp, 10 out of 10, you're a superstar. Just message me on Facebook. I don't remember who it was at this point. And so we're all sitting around having breakfast one morning, and I was still talking about it. I'm like, we're going to get this thing. I've put the word out there. We've bribed people. We've just bullied people into doing this. It's the Farlander way. All right. And I look down the street, and it's like backlit, and the sun is beautiful in the dust. And here comes, if I could have Flight of the Valkyries playing when I looked over and saw this, it would have been the greatest goddamn thing in the world. Because here comes up the street the fucking helicopter with 6 people carrying it. And I was like, yes.
Wait, so they stole this? They stole this in the morning?
Yeah, no, it was. Morning, Wasteland morning. So probably around lunchtime.
Wasteland.
All right.
Wasteland morning, so like 2 o'clock.
My day hadn't gotten
It's like 2 p.m.
Yeah,
that's even better. No. You had people committed to your cause.
Oh yeah, no.
While hungover.
Yeah.
While hungover.
Because I'm Adept Farlander, and shit like that just happens. Okay, I make shit happen.
Hotshot would pledge herself to Farlander.
Listen, Farlanders, you want to hang out with us because we're hella cool. Which
hell yeah.
Realize that the finger guns get lost over just audio, but imagine me doing that.
You gotta make the clicking noises. You gotta make the clicking noises, and that way they know you did the finger guns.
There you go. Yeah, now it's finger guns. Perfect.
Oh god, I'm the least cool person I know.
You're
So
the
they
best.
deposit it in front of our camp, and I'm just like, cool, we got it. Cool. So the bolt cutters are camped patty corner to us, and the rag weavers next to us. Sanguine Glass, who was one of the wardens in 2019, who's a babe and I love her, she was like, hell yes. She was also hyped. Everybody brings stuff over to decorate it because now this helicopter belongs to the green place. You spray painted green vines on it. We wrote for the green place. We decorated it with, the decorations from the bolt cutters camp. The rag weavers put some stuff on there. It was now the green place helicopter.
Fantastic.
Cool. Awesome. Not the end of the story though, because listen, what is the point? What is the point of a prize like that unless you can show it off to everybody?
Yeah.
So some of the people hung around. They were like, yeah, cool, we delivered this thing. Now what do we do? And I'm like, hey, you want to help us put this on top of that? And by that, I mean Crybaby's Razor Nova.
Oh,
Nice.
no. The trick is always the end.
This is the best. For those that don't know, Crybaby, who is one of the coolest members of our tribe, probably cooler than me, has a 1973 Chevy Nova, and he's ground all the paint off of it. It used to be orange. In 2016, our first year, it was bright orange. And he ground all the paint off of it, which made me a little sad because the orange was white. And now it's all shiny and silver and very awesome looking. And with the skeletons painted on the side now. So imagine a helicopter going on top of a Nova, because that is precisely what we did. We convinced 4 more people plus us to hoist this by the rails.
Okay, but how heavy was it?
It was surprisingly not that heavy.
That makes sense. It's got to go in the air.
You could lift it with like 6 people, because I think it was like it's like mostly fiberglass.
Yeah, it was not heavy at all. And so we were able to get it up on top of the Nova, and between the brains of 3 people, we ratcheted this thing to the roof of the car pretty solidly. At least I thought. I mean, it didn't.
Oh no!
Spoiler alert! Jumping ahead, it didn't fall. Nobody got hurt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing. So we strapped the damn thing to the roof. Sanguine and I climbed in it. Bridger rode on the front of the car, and then Crybaby obviously drove because it's his car. And we paraded this thing all up and down Wasteland, the camping area where the wards are. We took it through the city, and then promptly entered it into the car competition.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Holy
we did.
I can't swear right now, but yeah.
It was pretty great. The only downside is, though, we're riding on top of it, and we're having a bebop good time and yelling at everybody in the city as we drive by. At one point, I'm pretty sure we passed Baron on the street, and I was like, "Hey, Baron, look at my new toy!" And of course, the famous line, "Dope." I can't do a great impression. Everybody tries to do it.
Fucking dope.
It was so good.
Fucking dope.
We were just driving around, and I'm like, "Hey, everybody, come look at this thing that I got!" Because again, what is the point of having this awesome prize unless you can drive it around strapped to the top of Nova? The downside is we drove past Command Center, and Boss Man was like,
Did they get real mad?
No, actually, he thought it was the coolest thing ever. He was like, "This is so badass." He's like, "You can leave it up there, you just can't have anybody in it." Because
one time the Dukes flipped a tower.
Fucking Duke, God damn it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I bring that up every time I can. I want you guys to know I bring that up every time that I can. I'm like, hey, remember that time that the Dukes fucking knocked their own tower down?
You know whose fault it was? It was Makeshift's fault.
It was?
Yeah. It was your It was your tower. It was your tower, sir.
It was my tower. I was nowhere near it at the time, though. I'll have you know.
Okay, but
he did it with his
to be fair, it was the FMGs, guys.
Yeah,
they didn't.
It's always.
I blame a lot of circumstances on that tower going down.
Always
they forgot to put the sandbags in.
Yeah. Blame the FMGs.
For anybody who doesn't know, one of our towers that we built one year flipped because it had a parachute on top, and the new guys who were supposed to put 150 pounds of sandbags in it forgot. And so it flipped. Thank God everybody got out of the way.
It turned into a hovercraft.
You guys, every time.
It turned into a hovercraft. It was a transformer. That was a design feature, I'm sure.
Luckily, we did not have any of those incidents with the helicopter. It was super solid on top of the car. It was going nowhere. But because
that's good.
We drove past Command Center and somebody said, that doesn't look like it's up there really solidly, boss had to come by and be like, you can have it up there, you just can't have anybody riding in it. And we were just like, oh.
Listen, we've been through so many helicopters coming in trying to rescue people who have been idiots. We need you.
Let's not have somebody in a helicopter that doesn't work. So we hung around with it for a little while, and then the novelty of it promptly wore off, and we got rid of
it. Go what?
The novelty promptly wore off, and we got rid of it. By got rid of it, I mean I went, hey, you want a helicopter? And convinced 6 more people to take it off of our car and away from us. Because again, Farlanders, listen.
Did Adam steal it as well that year?
Yeah.
I have no idea who stole it after we got our hands. After we were free, but I was like, I don't give a hoot what happens to this helicopter because I needed to chase the next high.
I'm pretty sure Adam must have stolen it because it was the vehicle that stopped at the front gate. You know, when the city closes, and it's usually Adam's truck there at night. Adam is one of the co-owners of Wasteland, in case anyone needs to know. But yeah, it was the helicopter one night, and that was so funny. I was like, oh, things happened.
Things are happening.
He got chased by,
And didn't wasn't the helicopter a bit of like a white elephant at some point? Because I don't think the crows wanted to take it home for some reason. I think they had gotten, like a lot of things at Wasteland, you get it there and you're like, I don't really want it. Does anyone want it? I think that was a situation with the helicopter. So they wanted someone to steal it.
They wanted somebody to steal it and keep it, but then like there are still good people at Wasteland. So they're like, haha, okay, this is fun. We should give it back because this is their toy. And they're like, I don't want it back. I'm like, too bad. Here you go. God, it was a trip.
I remember seeing you guys drive around, and there is an epic photograph of you guys out there, like the Farlanders in full regalia on top of the Nova, holding on to the helicopter, just so happy. Such like shit-eating grins, I think, is the word for it. Yeah.
There's no amount of unbridled joy that can top that moment. I'm not kidding you. It was so great. I think it may have even topped my win against Fiends, and that is saying something. Because that was almost my story, was the whole saga behind the Fiends versus Farlanders.
Oh, that would have been. We should get into that one next time you're on.
There's something about successfully doing a heist for a relic. It's just, there's something about it because tribes really, they want people to steal them, but they go out of their way to make it hard.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But see, the thing about the Farlanders is like, the best way to describe the Farlanders is like royalty heist tribe. So I'm not going to sell like my own hands, but I will convince anybody and everybody to do it for me so that I can have the prize. Queen Adept, what do you want?
If you ever want to fight in the Thunderdome again, let me know. I have to be careful because of my numerous concussions that the doctors tell me I can't get more of. But
I hear those are bad for you.
I think
I've had 5.
Hotshot is, I think, in second place behind Mongo for most injuries in the tribe.
Is that something we really want to brag about?
Well, the two of them do.
You know what? I feel like
we don't brag. We both just look sadly.
You guys are just masochists. Like it's just nothing but like suffering. You guys are so into it. There's always just like workplace injuries and flogging going on.
No.
Every time guys, we've been across the street neighbors for years. Every time I come across you the street, to borrow a ladder or a spoonful of honey or something, you guys are always like whipping shit or hurting yourselves.
I want a ladder.
That ladder really helped me
shit. So here's the thing. It's just the ADHD. We just are.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? There's always like Mongo's over there sawing his fingers off, and then you're over there like hitting somebody with a board. And I'm like, hey guys, you guys want to hang out?
No, you're right.
Who wants to come over for a beer?
The answer is yes. We want to hang out. We just keep fucking up.
Hold on, we got to hit more people with boards first.
If it's not the physical pain, it's someone. What is it? Russian roulette for the pepper shots.
Oh my god! Those fucking pepper shots, dude! Oh my god! Okay? Can I sidebar real quick? Real quick story.
Yes.
Okay, don't. No, that's
no.
Mongo. That's Mongo.
2019, you guys had that fucking that Reaper tequila. You guys remember that? The
it wasn't just 2019. It's always.
Okay,
it's always.
So I don't know if it was Zach who made it or somebody who made it. I got ambushed.
No, it's Chad. It's Mongo.
It's Mongo who makes it. Okay, so I had an empty cup. I don't remember. It was probably Thursday night or something, and I don't remember who. Somebody came out of nowhere. I was at your guys' camp because we were doing the cigar night thing. You guys were having that cigar party, so we're at your camp smoking cigars, and I had an empty cup, and somebody's like, "Hey, can I freshen your beverage for you?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's really polite of you guys. Like you Dukes know how to really,
they didn't tell you.
Yeah, so somebody took it, and they were like, "Let me get you a cold beer," because you guys had that keg at the time, and I was like, "Dope, cold beer all day." Come back, hands me this cup.
I'm so sorry.
And I think it's a cold ass beer, so I just take this huge drink of it. It was the Reaper tequila,
Mickey,
and
I'm so sorry.
I thought I was gonna go blind. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And then it was like, "Oh," Zach was like, "Oh man, that's the tequila, bro. You got the Reaper peppers in that shit." And I'm fucking seeing God and trying not to shit fire. And I'm like, "What the fuck? Why would you do this to me?"
God.
Oh, anyways, Mickey, I'm so sorry.
Why would they do this to
It's okay. It's okay. So word of the wise,
no matter what our tribe is at.
Don't take a free drink at the Duke's camp because they will probably poison you.
No, usually we have lots of booze.
For many reasons.
Usually we don't poison people.
No, one time I accidentally got a shot of absinthe and Everclear. Don't take random shots from people. That was not at the Duke's. That was somewhere else.
Also, good advice just for life, though.
For life.
Just for life.
In general.
Forget how to exist.
But I'm so sorry, Mickey. Officially from the Duke's, let me apologize because we generally tell people what it is. Mongo specially grows those Reapers with the help of a botanist to make sure they are physically as hot as possible. I'm so sorry.
They're hot as fuck.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna let the heat sizzle on that one and jump into our next story.
Wait, don't we need another commercial?
No,
hold up. Don't worry, I'm in charge here. I got this.
Sorry, I like to be in charge, clearly, from the Wasteland.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Wait for it. All right, here we go. The Magister of Undertown, known as the Baron, who's been on this show before, has been part of many hijinks. His prank war with the Dukes of the Nuke famously helped start the shenanigans, and over time forged tribe missions, where tribes put Wastelanders to work, just like in video games. Of course, the Baron often finds himself having to deal with the mess his Berserker tribe creates, but none hitting so close to home as the one Mickey Bang Bang is about to tell you. Of course, right after this quick bit of Farlander propaganda, improvised right now by Adept of the Farland.
Hey kids, you want to get convinced to do some sketchy shit? Come hang out with the Farlanders. Or, conversely, if you don't really want to do some sketchy shit, but you want to hear some good-ass stories, you can sit on old Bridger's knee and he'll tell you some real good tales. But mostly, it's some sketchy shit. But listen, we didn't send you. You don't know who we are. I ain't touching it. Bring me the goods. You'll get a crisp high five.
Oh man, yours is the only one talking about sitting on an old man's knee.
And something about getting some tail?
What? Oh, well, I mean, if you ask really nice, but...
Sit on an old man's knee and you'll get some tail.
Sit on an old man's knee.
Tails, as in a story.
I like that Mickey just walks away from that.
Yeah.
He's like,
all right, Mickey, tell us your story, bro.
Okay, so this story is, it's kind of one of those stupid behind-the-scenes, semi-asinine stories of me being a clumsy bitch. Because if you don't know me personally, like me, Mickey Bang Bang, I will readily admit that I am a sloppy bitch, and I'm only good at catching things because I drop shit all the time. right? So this is how I'm
Hell
prefacing
yeah,
this
that's
story.
what happens.
Yeah. So, I think this was 2016. Yeah, it was 2016. So I wasn't con of the Skullduggers yet. At this point, I was only in charge of the Mushroom Cloud Lounge. I was Chamberlain of the lounge, and the Baron was still the quote ambassador of the tribe. And that year for my birthday, um, Mary Mucho, Queen Bonesaw, the Baron's wife. If you guys don't know her, she's a
The
fabulous.
best.
She is one of the most fabulous human beings you'll ever meet. She's a senior chief in the Navy.
She's so badass.
She's like the most competent fucking human person that I know. Unfortunately, she won't be at Wasteland 2021 because she's on deployment right now. In any case, she that year 2016, she gave me for my birthday. She gave me this fucking giant wooden mallet with spikes on it. So
Hell
imagine
yeah.
it's like this absurd looking, like really heavy, like fat looking croquet mallet with like steel spikes wrapped around it. And this thing was like absurd. And and the spikes were really fucking sharp. Like I cut myself immediately on it when I when I got it. Um so she gave me this thing for my birthday that year, and of course I brought it to Wasteland. And at some point we were I think it was one of the vehicle cruises in like the middle of the week. So it was one of those points where everyone, that's like, oh, let's all mob up and jump in the back of the Baron's truck and go on this vehicle cruise. And I don't know. I don't know if things have changed a little bit, but like back in the day, the vehicle cruises were like, I mean, that shit would last forever. It would go for like a couple of hours, and so you'd pile into the
Jesus,
back of the
yeah.
truck with like beers and waters and snacks and shit because you're expecting to be there for a little bit, right? So inevitably, the bottom of the Baron's truck bed would always get just like filled with junk, whether it was trash or random prop weapons or costume bits or just the detritus of people riding around for 4 hours in the back of this thing drinking and carrying on. So we all pile into the truck and we start doing the cruise. And I'm standing right at the cab, so like I got the cab like right at my midsection, like kind of just leaning on it as you do. And in typical Wasteland fashion, I'm sitting there, holding beer in one hand, and I got this spike mallet in the other hand, and I'm like, oh, this fucking weapon's too heavy. I can't brandish this thing like for 4 hours, so I'm gonna set this thing down so I can focus on the
That's why you
important shit.
always look for a lighter weapon.
Yeah, exactly. So like this was 2016, so I clearly hadn't learned my lesson about carrying around heavy shit. But like as the years have gone on, my kit, like my outfit and my prop weapons have gotten lighter and lighter to the point where they're like almost non-existent because I just don't.
Yep.
I'm not gonna carry around
Yup. I
shit. I'm
stopped
gonna
carrying my
walk.
rifle for that reason.
I want to walk around in a loincloth and get drunk. Like that's pretty much my steez at the event. So I'm in this truck. I'm drinking this beer. I'm like, I'm gonna set down this mallet, and of course, I was several beers deep, so I was just like, I'm just gonna drop it, head down, right by my feet. There shouldn't be anything that should be a problem. So I do, and we continue on. And while we're driving throughout the rest of this vehicle cruise, I'm like, wow, there's something like slick at the bottom of the truck. Like my
Oh
feet
no!
my feet are like sliding around on something, and I'm like, that's weird. But I'm also like too into what we're doing, not paying attention. I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
That's
So
like it's blood.
no, that's not blood. It's You would think it was blood
Oh
Okay.
because
god,
it's,
okay. We all expected it to be
you
blood.
would think this is a blood story because it's a Skulldugger story, but it's not. It's not a blood
To
story.
be fair.
To be fair. So we get done with this
To be
vehicle
fair.
cruise, and I fucking look down at my feet. Like we're all like we parked and we're getting out of the truck, and I look down, and when I had dropped the mallet, there was a can of fucking adhesive spray, like 3M, like glue in a can. Like the spray glue that you get at like Home Depot. So I had dropped the mallet head down, and it had
Oh
landed right on
god.
this spray bottle of fucking glue, and it punctured it. So there was now like glue spraying like all over my boots and the fucking mallet and everything else. And
Mickey Bang wants to make us mark.
oh my god. And I am a sloppy bitch. And so I looked down, I'm just like, fuck, there's just glue everywhere. My feet are glued to the bottom of the truck now. Like there's glue all over my mallet, like my birthday mallet. Like fuck, dude. So
You
I'm
live there
drunk.
now.
I'm trying to do the drunk cleanup thing. So I grab like the newspapers. There was like newspaper in the bottom of the truck. So I'm like sitting there like wiping
'Cause that's
this shit off
gonna,
with newspaper. Yeah, because that fixes glue. And I somehow got most of it off the mallet and my boots. But like because it's Wasteland. By the time I got all that sorted out and we were all drunk and shit, everyone they was just like, oh, like we're on to the next thing. So I just totally forgot about the can of glue leaking in the back of the Baron's truck, and
Oh
we
no.
just went and continued and continued to Wasteland. So fast forward to like the end of the week when we're cleaning up and we're like cleaning all the shit out of the back of the Baron's truck, and the Baron's like, who in the fuck glued all these fucking beer cans and shit to the bottom of my fucking truck? Because by that point the glue had already set, and so there was just all this trash glued to the bed of the Baron's truck.
It's art.
And I'm like, oh man, I was like, dude, that must have been one of the
Modern
new
art.
kids. I don't know. Certainly couldn't have been me. And then meanwhile, I'm like trying to feign innocence, but they're like my boots are covered in crusted glue, and my birthday mallet is covered in glue too. And he's just like, Mickey, did you do this? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, maybe the mallet pierced the glue. I don't. Who puts a can of glue? Who puts a can of glue in the back of a truck? It's not my fault the glue was there.
I
Yeah.
can turn this around.
What
who
did
put glue
what
in a
did the Baron
truck?
do?
I think it's if you look at that truck now, there's still like some glue marks. I think we got most of the trash. Obviously, we had to pull the trash off the damn bed, but yeah, if you look at the Baron's truck, like the front right, like the driver's side front corner of the bed has like a big glue mark where like clearly
Oh
beer
my
cans and
god.
trash were glued to it. Yeah.
You know that truck is how our rivalry started between the Dukes and the Skullduggers, right?
Oh yeah, we've told that story before on this podcast.
Yeah, we definitely stole that truck from you
You
guys.
did? Oh
stole
shit!
a
No,
whole
you
ass
did.
truck.
I
That's
forgot about
dedication.
that. I fucking forgot about that. That was like
That's how I lost my.
yeah, that was a whole big
Yeah, that's
flap. I feel like like you guys, and there was a couple of tribes that fucking people kept stealing the Baron's truck. Okay, so you want to talk about like relics and shit? Like we have had so much shit accidentally stolen from our camp because people just they're like, oh, they're the Skullduggers. Of course, you should take this thing from their camp. And it's like, no,
Oh God, yeah.
don't please don't steal
Ours
our
started
shit.
before that. Ours started before that. Our tribes, your tribe and my tribe. It was the start of the bullshit
It was the start,
because
yeah.
Back on the
I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's be real. I was a private. I was the equivalent of a private. I don't know why we did it. That was how I lost my casino VIP pass. We were stealing the Baron's truck, and I fell down because we were running really fast, and it fell out of my pocket. And then I had to be a table for the casino to get a new VIP pass. But for whatever reason, I'm real mad.
All you had to
Real
do is
salty about that one thing.
show up at the
Plus
VIP
stealing
lounge.
the truck, just being salty.
We would have let you in, even without the pass. If you would have been like, "Hey, I lost my pass stealing your guys' shit," we would have been like, "Hey, that's terrible, but hey, come on in. Drinks are on us."
I know. It was a VIP. It was a casino VIP pass. I bought it my very first Wasteland with the money of all the Dukes. All the Dukes pooled their cats to let me buy a VIP pass because I wanted to be a jugger. And initially we thought I could buy jugger armor, but it turned out it was joke jugger armor. So we bought a VIP pass to the casino, and then it turned out I lost it stealing the Baron's truck.
As somebody who has had a considerable amount of concussions, do we really think being a jugger is the best idea?
Well, I got my last concussion being a jugger.
It's true.
It's
Hotshot,
on Instagram.
It's
Hotshot
on
has jugged.
Instagram, so you know it's real.
Oh yeah.
It's
No,
real.
dude, I was a jugger for a full year. I competed at Wasteland. It was the greatest. I was a chain. But then at the very first Winter Games, my helmet came off and Metal Jesus was running by and he was on my team and he may or may not have kicked me in the skull.
Yeah, that happens.
Jesus. Well, yeah,
it was great. It was the best.
It was the best day of my life.
It was so good.
There's no official safety commission in the game of Jugger.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah,
I was
you
part
can
of it for a little
tell.
while, but it's
Yeah.
you know what I was a referee for a little while. The Juggers are all willing to spill their blood for the game.
Yeah. And as are the referees in a weird way. Oh my God. That Baron's truck, man, it's been a part of many a thing.
Yeah, the Baron's truck has been involved in a lot of shenanigans. We were real sad. There was one year that we didn't have it, and it was strictly because it didn't get registered in time because it's not a daily driver anymore. So I think it was 2018 that we didn't have the Baron's truck. But it's funny because it's the one wastelanded vehicle that the tribe still has. At one point, the Skullduggers had like a fleet of like 9 wastelanded vehicles, and now we literally only have the Baron's truck. Because people either left the tribe or they sold their theme vehicles or whatever. But yeah, that's like our Skulldugger, our anchor point.
Yeah. And speaking of vehicles, so the Farlanders, you guys were kind of the beginning of the Great 40 Migration. Is that right?
It is, yeah.
Tell me about
Wait. What is that for those of us?
Yeah, for those of you lucky people who get to live on that side of the country, and it doesn't take you 3 days to drive to Wasteland. So the Great 40 Migration was started because Bridget and I lived, well, at the time we lived in Nashville, Tennessee. We still live in Tennessee, just a little bit north of Nashville. And we bought a 1977 Chevy C10, which, by the way, is for sale for anybody in the area who wants a Wasteland truck. Thunderhead is for sale. It's very sad.
Send me pictures.
I will. It only kind of runs.
It only sort of runs.
She needs a little love. But
good to
things
know.
Like this is why we started the Great 40 Migration. So first year Wasteland 2016, we went hard. All right, we were all in for Wasteland, and I was like, this better not suck because we've invested a lot into this for not having gone our first year, which they tell you not to do, by the way. If you're thinking about doing Wasteland, don't do what we did. Or do. I'm not your fucking mom. Whatever. So we bought this beautiful truck. She's awesome. And she ran pretty great when we first got her. And we were like, we're about to drive across the fucking country, and neither of us are car people, and this doesn't seem super safe to do by ourselves. So we started the Great 40 Migration. We were like, hey, people who are on this side of the country or between here and Wasteland, we're just going to be doing a great big thing. Join in where you can. Here are the stops. I think we had a stop in, I think it was Nashville was the start. So anyone coming east, north, or east of Nashville, our house was the first stop, which was a fucking trip. Because again, first
Wait,
year,
does that mean that you just had a bunch of people in your house?
Ding ding. Don't know. We didn't get murdered, so that was a great start. All right, so let me see. Nashville, and then it was from Nashville to Oklahoma City. That was our first leg. Oklahoma City to Flagstaff, Arizona was leg 2, and that's a hell of a drive. That's the big day. And then Flagstaff, Arizona to Cal City was our third stretch, and that was the little less big stretch. So it was big, really big, not so big for the legs. And for the past few years, that has been the route. So we did it our first year. Thunderhead made it to Wasteland and back again like a fucking champion. Shortly thereafter, cracked head. And so we had to replace the engine and put a 73 engine, 73 or 75, I don't remember which, in it.
Wait, cracked head means like a cracked...
Like the engine broke.
Yeah. Head gasket, yeah. It was cracked. And it was not...
Head gasket, yeah. Listen,
not fixable. Yeah,
listen, my name is Hotshot, and I was never actually a BDSM person or a car person. People just assume that.
People just assume that. I'm not a car person either. So, unfortunately, our friend who was a mechanic, he's like, look, I don't really trust welding this. Let's just replace it. I got somebody, we can put another C10 engine in it. It's a little bit older. We did that, and she honestly never really ran the same again. 2017, and we didn't even make it out of Tennessee. We had to leave her behind a barn, and it broke my heart. Yeah. Had some friends come and pick her up and take her home, though, and that was really awesome of them. Shout out to those amazing humans. And we had to carry on. That was a trying year. So that was the first time some of my tribe mates saw me ugly cry. And the first time that a few Wastelanders heard me say my real name, because I called TK, who, God bless him for a saint. I don't know why he was the first person I thought of to call. I knew he was already on site. So I called him and I was like, TK, our truck broke down. And that was our camp too. We were sleeping, we made a camp out of the truck. So I was like, hey buddy, do we stay with you?
Adept, I feel that we had
yeah.
recently our whole trailer and one of our cars break down. It's so hard when you're prepping everything.
Yeah.
And like you have this whole plan. Yeah, it's really fucking hard.
It was tough. We packed everything that we could we spread it out over multiple vehicles and we continued on. But that was the fucking great thing about the 40. That year we had Blaine, who became a new Farlander after that year because he was such a fucking champion. Crybaby drove from fucking Utah backwards to Tennessee to take all of the 40. Because he's insane. He's a crazy person, and I love him more than words can say. But yeah, thank God we had him, though, because, like, I don't know what we would have done because we put some of the stuff in his. Bridger rode with him most of the way. I ended up riding with Blaine a lot of the way. Our stuff was spread over multiple vehicles. But if it had not been for the Great 40 migration, we would have been screwed.
Yeah, awesome.
So it now has grown into something bigger because since 2017, and we flew home, so we got spoiled. And I was like, oh, instead of having to take 3 days to get home, it took 4 hours, and I can shower the same night. This shit's fire. So we got spoiled with flying, and so we.
Wait, you got on a plane smelling like Wasteland?
Oh fuck yeah, I did. I have for the past few years. On a plane
Holy shit!
Yeah, so that's cool. So now we fly most of the time. We rent a van that we camp out of.
Fuck!
I know. I don't give a shit. Come at
So
me.
no more Great 40 migration?
So the Great 40
or does it just happen without you?
Runs. Bridger did it he did it in 2019. Yeah, 2019. He did it with one of our friends. And they cannonball ran it home. They didn't stop. They drove straight from California back to Tennessee. It was bananas. So
I'm very impressed by your balls to get on the plane.
It was awesome. But it still exists. Now it's being run by awesome. Jesse Hansen, Crybaby, who's one of our Farlanders.
Oh, so it's still a Farlander.
And it still goes on in its own way, and we created this little thing just because we were too scared to drive across the country by ourselves. And it continues on to this day. So new Wastelanders, if you're scared to drive by yourself and you're going a long distance, it doesn't matter if you have a Wasteland car or a regular car or whatever. It's a great way to meet new people before you get to the event, so you have like a clan of people when you get there. Because that was a huge thing too, and it was so funny. Jesse just kind of latched onto us. And he's just like, he was like this guy that wouldn't leave us alone. I was like, I love this kid.
Yeah.
He was
between the cross-country rides. Yeah, between the cross-country rides and the people in line at like the line, and like you will meet your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
and
right,
it's
guys.
Great. It was really awesome, and I'm glad that it still continues on.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're just about running out of time. Let's do one quick round of last thoughts. And Mickey Bang Bang, you're looking very pensive, so I want to hear what you got.
Last thoughts. Wait, what direction are we last thoughting in?
Absolutely anything. It doesn't even have to be related in any way.
Oh, well, okay. Last thoughts are this year is going to be weird, and it's not going to be familiar to any of us. It will be a lot more like it used to be, but in a weird, different way. And I just want to encourage everyone to just in the best way. And I want to encourage everyone to just like not worry about what fucking setup you're bringing or what shit you're building or, all the things that we normally fucking worry about in a normal year for Wasteland. Like, just fucking show up. We're going to have a great fucking time. And come say hi to me at the fucking lounge.
I mean,
fuck yeah.
From the man himself.
Look for the guy in the loincloth.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Adept.
I really wish that I could be joining you guys this year. I am super bummed that it isn't going to come out for 2021.
Yeah, we're going to miss you.
So y'all have lots of extra fun for me, but 2022 is going to be great. Farlanders have got some fun things. And this will give you time to make Queen Adept. That's right, you heard it here first, guys. Look for Queen Adept in 2022. It's going to be a thing. But also, y'all are going to hear it first. Hotshot. You want to fight in the Thunderdome in 2022?
Whoa!
I really do. My wife says I'm not allowed to let my head get hit, but I want to fight so bad.
Wear a helmet.
Yes.
Wear a
Hit
helmet.
you in the head.
Yeah,
We'll
wear a helmet.
Headshot.
Wear a helmet.
If we can both wear helmets, I really do. I've wanted to. Oh my God, you don't have any idea how bad I've wanted to fight. Yes.
All right, folks, you heard it here
I will
first.
come out of retirement. This is a thing, 2022. Y'all hear it first. Hotshot and I are going to fight in the Thunderdome.
Fuck.
You better get strong now, girl. Shit, I got to get back in shape.
We'll just wrap your head in pool noodles. You'll be fine.
Yes.
Both
Oh,
of
that's
us,
a great idea.
both of us get soft helmets. Girl, I want to fight so fucking bad.
Oh, it's
We're
on.
going to do it. Let's do it. We're going to do it.
God.
No headshots.
Yes.
This hour today.
All right,
We'll be taking
awesome.
bets at the Mushroom Cloud Lounge. Come on down to your
Nice.
local
Yeah,
bookie.
taking bets in the Mushroom Cloud Lounge.
Holy
Now it's
shit,
gonna
I'm
be
so
Farlanders
excited.
versus the Duke. Team
Perfect.
Farlander.
Yes. All right, awesome. Hotshot, your last thoughts.
Holy shit, I'm still stuck on fighting in the third. Hold on. Let me have a moment. I've wanted to do this for so long, but the doctors tell me I'm not supposed to fight in the Thunderdome because of my concussions. I don't care. I'm going to do it.
I did see you brandishing that empty whiskey bottle. How you doing over there?
He's having the best day ever.
So here's the thing. I have two foster boys. I love them both dearly. Two special needs foster boys. I love them both dearly. That's how I'm doing. But Rob Grimm brought me an entire bottle of whiskey.
That's a drink, by the way.
Yep. Grimm. War Chief
War Chief
Grimm. Yes,
Grimm.
he lives with us. How am I doing? Here's the thing, guys. I showed up to my very first Wasteland not knowing anybody, alone it was 11 p.m. at night in the middle of a sandstorm. I could not find my tribe.
I remember that.
You remember the next day because I could not find my tribe. So I fell asleep in the crux of some plywood that somebody had set up and woke up the next day. I put on my schmog and my goggles because it was in the middle of the sandstorm and woke up the next day with some woman standing above me saying, "Do you want some bacon?" And I was like, "Yes." It turned out to be...
What year was that?
10 years ago, I think.
2012, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like
Okay.
2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
Okay.
It turned out to be the WCC. I was in there like half built
Oh, you were
structure.
so close.
I know, I was right next to the Dukes.
Almost.
And somebody offered me bacon, and then it turned out I had found my home. Come find your home with us, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Seriously.
found your home.
Wasteland changed my life.
Yeah.
Oh.
God.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, that's going to bring this episode of Wastelander Stories to a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Hotshot, Mickey Bang Bang, and Adept for playing along tonight.
Thank you. Love you guys. Miss
Thanks,
you.
guys.
I miss the shit out of y'all.
Miss you all so much. All right. And for you out there, if you had a good time, make sure to like this episode, subscribe to the show wherever you're listening, whether it's on YouTube or anywhere else. Oh, hey there. War Chief Grimm, I've got one little drink left, and this goes out to you.
Yes,
the
one
man
drink
who
for
just
War
showed
Chief
up
Grimm.
in Hotshot's video feed. Yes. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. But if you hated it, oh my, what is happening over here?
It went down my bra.
I thought I was like, oh, is it that part of the night? Is it the part where we
The whiskey.
is it the part where we flash each other?
The whiskey went down my bra. I'm sorry.
And if you hated this episode, please share it with your enemies in a Carolina Reaper tequila shot, served without a warning.
See you in hell, nerds.
I miss the shit out of you guys.
All right, survivors. We'll see you next time. Stay alive.
And days and days and days and days.
Hey survivors, Makeshift here to remind you that the Apocalypse Post is brought to you in no small way by our Patreon supporters. Join the ranks for early access and exclusive content with support levels now named for fancy Fallout-ridden factions like the $2 per creation Drifter or the $7 Wastelander. Knowing you've got my back has helped me dedicate more time to this channel, spreading love of the post-apocalypse, and less time on stupid real-world stuff. Sign up right now at patreon.com/theapocalypsepost.